Yai-dai-dai-dai-dai. Yai-dai-dai-dai-dai. Yai-dai-dai-dom. Yai-dai-dai-dai. 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 Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody,
Shabbat Shalom.
and Chag Sameach. We have a double occasion, triple occasion. We'll get to here's the first two. The first two is that it's Shabbat, which happens every week. The second is that it's also Shavuot. It's one of the three major pilgrimage festivals. Happens only once a year. And then on top of that, sandwiched in there, maybe you say, our good friend Noah Posen is celebrating having become bar mitzvah. That happens once in a lifetime. And we're really, really grateful. What's that? Oh, that's right. They say if you make it to 76, you get if 86, you get a second one, because it's 70 plus another 13, you get to have a second bar mitzvah. I know a couple of those. Harder time blowing out the candles. But in any case, this is a really wonderful occasion. Really happy to have all of you here. There's an expression from the book of Job. The Lord gives, and the Lord takes. Blessed be the name of the Lord. The Lord gives because when you have Shabbat and holiday mushed in together like this, the Friday night service is actually a little bit shorter. On the flip side, the Saturday morning service is a little bit longer, actually a good bit longer, but we'll try to do it in a hurry, and this guy's going to be helping us the whole time, which is part of why we're so excited to be here. A couple things you should know if you've never been here before. This is a very musical congregation, if you haven't guessed that yet. We highly encourage you to join in with making that music. If you know the words, if you don't know the words, sometimes like the song the cantor just sang, everybody knows the words. Please join in. Or if you just catch the rhythm, we have all these wonderful wooden pews you can tap on, or prayer books. We also have paperback transliterated prayer books for people who find those helpful. But the more you can join into that music, whether you feel 100% safe in doing that or not, the better experience of the service you're going to have, and we'll all have. The second thing is that Shabbat and holidays are a time of presence. And B'nai Mitzvah are especially a time of presence, because you're going to feel like you just got shot out of a cannon. Like it's going to happen, and then tomorrow it's going to be over. And the more you can do to be present for this, everybody, the better. The cool thing is, because we have the live streaming, the whole thing is sort of passively captured, which means nobody needs to take their phones out and take pictures or videos or anything like that. We have you covered, so you can just be fully present. So put those things on quiet or silent and just enjoy being a part of this holy service. And so with that, we are going to continue in the vein of Shabbat on page 13. There's this song we sing where we imagine as Shabbat descends upon us, angels enter our homes and our holy spaces, and we ask them to bless us, to spend Shabbat with us, and then we see them on their way like honored guests. And we have a song about that, Shalom Aleichem, on page 13. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hamayim, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bo lachem sound of song increases in our holy spaces, we also bless the increasing light in our homes and in our hearts with the Shabbat and holiday candles, which we have right over here, already lit, but they haven't had a blessing said near them. So I would like to invite up Esther Smaller, Lauren Posen, and Sonia Posen, who are going to be saying the blessing for the candles.
This one burned out. Okay. Ready? 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat v'yom tov. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Amen. Like I said, it's a little bit shorter when we have Shabbat and a holiday coinciding. We don't do all the same psalms, but we certainly do the psalm for Shabbat. And so we're going to continue in a moment on page 23, and I'd like to invite up Lawrence Smaller, before you sit down, to come lead us in the psalm for Shabbat. Everybody else can follow along on page 23. You'll see
Right here.
over here with the microphones. You'll see by the typeface, this is we call a responsive reading. That means we take turns, and but Lawrence is going to start.
This one's and everyone answers and you read this and everyone answers. Goes to the microphone.
A song for Shabbat. It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God.
To affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night, to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp.
Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation.
How vast your works, Adonai! Your designs are beyond our grasp.
The thoughtless cannot comprehend. The foolish cannot fathom this.
The wicked may flourish, springing up like grass, but their doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever.
Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish. All the wicked shall crumble.
But me you have greatly exalted. I am anointed with fragrant oil. I have seen the downfall of my foes. I have heard the despair of my attackers.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai. They will thrive in the courts of our God.
They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant to proclaim, Adonai is just, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Shkoyach. And as you might have guessed, we have a song about that too. So if you turn to the facing page, we're going to sing Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat.
And as you got really, really good at joining me on the melody without words, which we call a nigun, I'm going to invite you now to join me. First we'll do it without words, then we'll add a few of the words. Martin will help us out with the words, and then we'll continue back together. Try that, just that. One more time.
בוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. להגיד בבוקר, בוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. טוב להוד לאדוני ולזמר לשמך העליון. 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 Well, once again, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good Yantiv and Mazel Tov to the Posen family, and thank you so much for celebrating and sharing this wonderful simcha with our community of our good friend Noah celebrating becoming bar mitzvah. Noah, did you want to do the sermon tonight, or do you want to do it tomorrow? Okay. All right, I'll have to think of something. Whenever I have the privilege of studying Torah with one of our young people, I give them a task which I think is easy, but maybe not everybody does, and maybe not every teenager at first. And that is finding ways to teach other people that a book written by and for shepherds in the Iron Age can be relevant to our lives today. Now, I think it's easy, but I'm super into it. Like, don't want to geek out here, but you know. But sometimes teenagers don't think it's as obvious as I do. The good news is that Noah has done an incredible, I got to read it ahead of time. Noah has done an incredible job of taking something from the Torah reading tomorrow, in this case, Devarim, Deuteronomy chapter 15, one of my favorite passages, as we shared, because it speaks so clearly, inspiringly, and bindingly to how we should behave in the world today. And he's going to be able to share that with you tomorrow, and the relevance that he found in his life that I think you can also find in your lives as well. The reason I think that it is trivial, almost, to see this ancient story as immediately relevant is because I think it is continuous, in the sense that we look at it often as a work either of or from history. A recounting of things that happened once, a very, very long time ago. There's roughly in the category, as Rabbi Artson taught me, probably from Franz Rosenzweig, as our master narrative of creation, redemption, and revelation. It's the cosmogony. It's the story of the beginning of the world in a way that helps us make sense of the world that we see today. It's written as if that happened once. But by giving us commandments, God is basically asking us to be co-partners in the ongoing work of creation. Today we celebrate a day of rest. However, just about every place in the Torah where it says, on the seventh day you shall rest, first it says, for 6 days you shall work. This world is broken. This world is not done. And as long as the world is not done, we, in partnership with God, are not done. That's why I see creation as continuous and something we get to take part in every single day as that most creative of species so far. Likewise, the story of redemption we could look at as happening once. Right? In the book of Exodus, that our master narrative of redemption is when our people had grown too numerous for Pharaoh's liking and we were suppressed with labor, and we cried out to the one with whom we had a deal. And God heard us and wrought miracles that we could go free. Once a family of only about 70 people, then a people of 2 million or so. And that happened one night, around midnight, as the Torah says. And yet we can't stop telling that story. And we tell that story every year at the Passover Seder, the single most observed Jewish occasion, that Passover Seder. And we are called on to see every single year, not look at what happened to those guys way back then, but every single year we're called on to see it as if we ourselves were leaving Egypt. Why? Because we're never not enslaved by something. There is always something that we could break free from. There is always some condition that we could use a little help with. And everybody has their own thing. But we all have the same God that we can call on continuously to help us out of whatever hole we're in. Finally, this most relevant idea to what we're doing this weekend is this idea of revelation. There are those who say that revelation happened once at the top of Mount Sinai when God spoke the Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 statements, the 10 commandments. As some atheists call it, the 10 suggestions, perhaps, but it seems important. There are those who say it happened once at that one time, and we've been trying to figure it out ever since. But there are other theologians who see that as a continuous act, not just because prophets were needed at various times in our history to say, hey, you guys are a little bit off track. Let's try to get the bus back in the lane. Right? Throughout our history, people have been inspired by the Holy One and the Holy One's teachings. And that's why I believe that even to this day, that revelation is continuous. And why is that relevant to what we're doing tonight and tomorrow? I'm going to go out on a limb here. Noah, do you remember the first blessing you worked on with Sandra? What was it? Was the Ve'ahavta? What about the blessing for the Torah reading? She's down the hall, and her voice carries, and usually, I'm just guessing, because that's usually the first one I hear them learning. So I love to share this with students, and so I'm sharing this with you now, and you all could listen too, but this blessing that you're going to say, some people see this as the reifying moment. This is what actually accomplishes the celebration of bar mitzvah, is when the bar mitzvah, the bat mitzvah, or the bar mitzvah gets up and says this blessing before and after the Torah reading. And when you conclude it, it's going to be very memorable because that's when we're going to throw candy at you. And I've already heard that there are people on the baseball team who are coming tomorrow, and I've got my eye on them. Underhand pitches only. But right before that, we bless God. Asher natan lanu Torah emet, who gave us a true Torah. So we bless God for giving us the Torah in the past, in that one time. And then we always conclude the blessing this way. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. We bless God who gives us the Torah. Now this is a puzzle. What just happened? First we say God gave us the Torah. Now we say God gives us the Torah. Are we confused? Is somebody lying? Or do we recognize that every single time a young person holds the scroll in his hands in public for the first time, opens that scroll, learns from that scroll, and teaches from that scroll, the voice of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One of Blessing, is giving us the Torah all over again. So that's why I'm so grateful that your family is sharing this simcha with us on Shabbat, on Shavuot, the season where we were given the Torah, and now the day where we are given the Torah anew. Hag Sameach and Shabbat Shalom and Mazel Tov to the Posen family. We're going to continue on a page, and that page is 28. It's our call to blessing the Baruch Hu. It's our custom to rise.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Mevorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch atah Adonai.
Shema.
Gotta finish. Watch that one.
Oh. Ma'avir Yom Umevi Laila Umavdil Ben Yom Uvein Laila Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Al Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim.
Amen. You may be seated as we continue on page 29, blessing God for the constancy of God's love. Ahavat Olam on page 29.
ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nefshecha uvechol me'otecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam Beshivtecha, v'tetecha, uv'lechlecha, b'derech, uv'shochbecha, uv'kumecha, ukshartam leot al yodecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'isharecha.
Continue at your own pace in the middle of page 30. We'll get back together in just a moment. So we continue together at the top of page 31.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael, va'amarta alehem, ve'ashu lahem tzitzit, al kanfei videhem ledoratam, v'natnu al tzitzit hakanaf petil techelet, v'haya lechem letzitzit, Uritem oto, uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai, vasitem otam, velo taturu, achrei levavchem, v'achrei enechem, asher atam zonim achreihem, leman tizkeru, vasitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hietem kadoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lechiot lechem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet.
We continue on page 32, having blessed God for illuminating our lives and for the constancy of God's love. We now bless God for God's nature as a redeemer. And when God took us out of Egypt and let us cross the sea on dry land, we looked back at this miracle and said, "Who is like you, our God, among all who are worshipped? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai."
Let's join together in the middle of the page.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha ne'er HaKodesh. Nora tehilot, osef eleh, nora tehilot, osef eleh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha
Baruch Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch Shemo.
Al Yisrael.
Amen. We continue on page 33 with Hashkivenu, and to lead us, I would like to call up David Posen. David Posen will be leading us in the Hashkivenu on page 33.
Start here. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace, now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praised are you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us and over all his people Israel and over Jerusalem.
Amen. Yeshua. As you can imagine, we've got a song about that too. It's going to be on the facing page. Please feel free to sing along with us. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'Havinenu Malkeinu Lechayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'Havinenu Shomereinu Lechayim Ushmor Tzeitzei Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'Havinenu Malkeinu Lechayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'Havinenu Shomereinu Lechayim Shalom Shalom Shalom, 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 shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, haborei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 34, page 34.
ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורם ברית עולם אוי אוי אוי
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. ועלמא דברי קירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכם וביומכם, וחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קרים, ויאמרו, יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך, וישתבח, ויתפאר, ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתעלה, שמי דקודשה, לעילה, מן כל ברכתה, ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא, ואמרו,
Amen. We rise as you're able for the Amidah for festival and Shabbat evening. It's on page 41b. 41b. This is a silent or private Amidah. Share the words on the page or the words in your heart with the Holy One. When you're finished with your own prayer, you may be seated. We'll all get back together in just a little while. conclude this festival Amidah with Kaddish Shalem on page 48. Page 48.
Yitgaravi Kadashame Rabba.
Amen.
Bama divra kute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechonu v'yomechonu chayedechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kari v'imeru
Amen.
Yahei shmei Rabba mevarach le'alam u'am me'amaya yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramah v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha
Brihu.
Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran ba'alma, ve'imeru.
Amen.
Kabal sloton uvoton, dechol Yisrael, kodam avuton, divishmaya ve'imeru.
Amen.
Yehi shalama rabba min shamaya, ve'chaim aleinu v'akol Yisrael, ve'imeru.
Amen.
Ose shalom b'ramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'akol Yisrael, v'akol yoshvei tevel, v'imeru.
Amen. I would now like to call up Brooklyn and Aidan Posen, who have the honor of opening the Ark for Aleinu. That means the rest of us can turn to page 51, and once they clear the aisle here, I'll ask everyone else to please rise.
She practiced yesterday. She'll show you how it's done, okay? Most important thing, it doesn't pull out. It slides. Okay? Whenever you're ready, go together and open the arm.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל,
לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו לרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל העולם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שאונתי שמיים ויוסף.
שמיים ויוסף את משה על כן נקווה לך נאמר פרק חוזר. כי המלכות שלך היא ולעולמי תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Please remain standing as the ark is being closed. Yishkoach. The ark is closed. You may be seated.
Well done. You can do that again tomorrow if you like. Good job.
I love their reverence. It's just a slow, beautiful thing. So even as we gather with simcha, with joy and celebration, we always pause to remember with honor, with kavod, those who are no longer with us. This week at PJTC, we're marking the art site, and that's the anniversaries of the passing of Judith Brzezinski, Rose Brecker, Hildegard Barati, Rosalind Chalik, Paul Cooper, Sarah Cooper, Beatrice Fink, Annie Fox, Samuel Ginsberg, Sarah Glickman, Herman Green, Rose Hacker, Lee Halpert, David Harris Hellman, Jack Isaacson, Stephen Jacobot, Bernard Julius, Anna Kahn, Max Katzman, Milton Kunin, Sarah Levine, Norma Loeb, Arthur Asher Lowenthal, Nettie Marks, Arlene Meehan, Gertrude Meltzer, Leon Merzel, David Mitchell, Rachel Morgenstern, Joseph Morris, Sarah Rubin Pace, Paul Benjamin Parker, Lillian Pessin, Ethel Rakelin, Sandy Rombach, Faye Ricks, Arlene Rosenbaum, Harry Schick, Sylvia Schuster, Max Siegel, Idel Sagan, James Selig, Bessie Shapiro, Anna Schulman, Tessie Spellman, Abraham Weiner, Fanny Gertrude Widman, and Martin Zuckerman. Our community also mourns the loss of Dr. Stanley Barnett, brother of Sheila Padlipsky, uncle of Susie Padlipsky Rhodes, and great uncle of Jaron and Jacob Rhodes. Stanley passed away on Tuesday, May 16th, and the funeral services took place in Rhode Island. We pray that Stanley's memory be for a blessing, and to his family we say, Hamakom Yenachem. May the Holy One comfort and strengthen the family at this time. If anyone here is in mourning for anyone, or you're marking a yard site this week, I invite you to please rise as we say the Mourner's Kaddish with you on page 52. Page 52. Let's pray together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Ba'alma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dekol beit Yisrael ba'gala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach leolam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brihu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiram bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. You may be seated. And we move once again from kavod to simcha, from honor to joy, as we have several presentations for our bar mitzvah from our youth group, our sisterhood, and our men's club, starting with Alexa Johnson, who is going to be making a presentation on behalf of our USY, our youth group.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. My name is Alexa, and I'm the current co-president of USY. USY is the youth group that we have here at PJTC. Today I'm presenting you with your Behol Echad. It's right here. I'll leave it here for you. For those of you who don't know, this book is used for songs at regional events. It has both Sloach and Ruach. Sloach are slower songs, which are calmer and more reflective, and Ruach are songs that are loud and upbeat. This will come in handy if you choose to come to regional or chapter USY events. Noah, I do not know you well yet, but I think it's super cool that you're doing this, and you did a great job tonight. And I'm sure you will tomorrow too. Mazel tov.
Alexa, and we're now going to call up Nancy Carlton. Is Nancy Carlton here? Oh, thank you so much. We have a presentation on behalf of our sisterhood.
So I'm Haley Karish. I'm a cousin of Noah's, and I stepped in because the president, Nancy, couldn't be here tonight. So I was like, yes, happy to. So Sisterhood is an organization here that supports a lot of youth activities and programs here at the temple. And one thing they do is give a gift to kids at their B'nai Mitzvah, so this is for you. And Noah, I know you a little better than Alexa, who just spoke. I'm not well, you know, we're a different generation, but I also think it's great you've done this. I think people will hear about this tomorrow, but you've taken a very different path than many kids who are up here. Noah got a late start, and it was all your choosing. I just think it's very admirable of you. So I wish you well. You're doing great, and I love your hair, by the way. So Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Haley. Last but certainly not least, I would like to invite up Eric Schlecht, who has a presentation on behalf of the PJTC Men's Club.
Hi, Noah. Oh, there it is. Microphone. Hi, Noah. Well, so I haven't known you as long as Haley, but I must say that when I talked to you a few weeks ago, you and your grandmother, I was also inspired by the fact that you are celebrating more than just your bar mitzvah. After all, I mean, I don't know if they've told you, but you became bar mitzvah 2.5 years ago. So you're celebrating a lot more than that now, because you've chosen to do this on your own, not accompanied by other people, other kids in your class, like the normal path, as Haley said. So it's an inspiration. When you're your age, when you're not 13, when you're 15 and a half, you're deciding what to do. You're picking yourself, the path that you're going to follow, and it's an inspiration that you've chosen this path. And I've been trying to think, what do we call it? Is it Judaism? Is it a religion? It's Torah. It's wisdom, philosophy. It surrounds us. It almost sounds like the Force, but I'm not sure that's right either. So anyway, so tomorrow, Men's Club gives you this beautiful yad, which we, to be honest, was selected artistically by Cantor Ruth, and you can use it to connect to the Torah tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to your reading. And you're doing a great job. And by the way, Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach, and Mazel Tov. You're taller than me, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's not normal.
But you look great. I like your hair.
Thank you.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, that.
I think I'm inspired to work the Force into all of my sermons from now on.
It's not really.
Tomorrow we'll be joined by several blue ghosts.
Can I take this off?
So with that, we are going to conclude tonight's celebration the way we began it, and that is with a beautiful, beautiful song. If you'll sing with us, Odivo Shalom, it feels better when you stand up when you're singing. So if you're able, please rise and join us. And then don't forget to stick around for Kiddush and Nash after, okay?
Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'agulam. Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'agulam. Salam, Salam Aleinu, Ve'akol ha'olam. Salam, Shalom. Shalom Aleinu, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'agulam. Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol ha'olam. Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol ha'olam. Shalom, Shalom.
Good Shabbos and Chag Sameach, everybody. We will see you right back there. Shabbat Shalom.
Let's do Kiddush together. I'm gonna have the bar mitzvah. Actually, he has a big cup. That one of those ones is yours. So today I have a cheat sheet. Oh, okay, hold on one second. Are we ready?
I think his cup has juice, but just in case, don't let him drive home, okay?
I can't tell.
Okay.
Okay, so tonight the Kiddush is a little modified because of Shavuot. So if you know it, join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'akafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher בחר בנו מכל עם ורוממנו מכל לשון וקידשנו במצוותיו ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה שבתות למלוכה ומועדים לשמחה חגים וזמנים לששון את יום השבת הזה ואת יום חג השבועות הזה זמן מתן תורתנו באהבה מקרא קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת עם כל העמים ושבת ומועדי קודשך באהבה ורצון ושמחה וששון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת בישראל והזמנים
Amen.
לחיים. Think it's juice? Oh well.
Can't win them all. All right. Those at home who wish to wash, wash as you wish. And I'll be thinking about everybody here when I do this. Here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshenu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim.
Amen. Okay, Noah, both of them together. Lift it up. Lift it up. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'amot. Take a little piece. There's just, it doesn't matter which one. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach. There's some gluten-free here. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Come on in.
Good Shabbos.